Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. It is the Coffee Run Live. We are coming to you a little bit earlier with special guest Molly, who just happened to roll on in to my office. I don't think she's going to want to stay. This is one of our rescue kittens who now no longer really looks like a kitten. She looks like a big cat. Go on, off you go. So what I wanted to talk with you about this morning is about having a really solid, essentially, sorry, this camera angle is not very good. I still haven't found my tripod. A really solid internal conviction that you are doing, saying, and sharing the right thing for you all the time. Hey, Joe. So in the past, particularly when I first started marketing, I was learning about the theory of polarization. And to me, polarization, or the way that polarization was demonstrated and modeled to me, was about being really flighty, being really kind of almost aggressive in and poking the bear, poking for people's opinions, and, you know, generally wreaking havoc all over the internet. Now, oh my God, cat, no, you can't go on that table. You can come up here. Oh my God, the cat just jumped on the table and nearly sent the camera flying because I can't find my tripod. So thank you, Esri. So the thing that I sort of had to, learn about, and this through trial and error and everything else, is how do you create a stance, hey Georgina, where you've got a strong opinion, right? But to me, it's also a bit like, well, I wanted to still be respectful. I still wanted to, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm not going to try and assert my opinion or convince someone that they should think like me, that they should be on my side. I actually don't think that there are sides. I don't believe in sides in terms of that. But I do think that it creates a bit of a thing whereby if you're sharing an opinion or if you're backing yourself and you've got absolute conviction that, you know what, this is what I do, this is how I do it, this is what I'm all about, this is what I believe in, this is what I believe to be true. Good morning, Tamara. Wow, it's early for you. And me on a live, I think you're up early, so that it's not early for you. It's just early for me. And it used to spark fears of, well, what if people don't agree? What if people get aggressive towards me? What if people don't believe the same things that I believe? And, essentially what that boiled down to was this fear around people not accepting me for who I am, people not liking me, people bouncing off and, whatever, just getting offended. I don't really, it's not my intention ever to go out there and offend anybody. Hey, Mike. But at the same time, it's kind of like what I've learned along the way is that you can, and it sounds kind of obvious when I sort of spell it out, but you can share your opinion and be really solid and have absolute conviction in what you're doing without having to go out there swinging and fighting. So I talked about this email that I sent out last week that had a little bit of theater and magic in it, and I was able to, in my email settings, while I was sending out the email, like the whole theme of this particular email was like it was a transmission from the future. So we're watching the Umbrella Academy at the moment, and it's a little bit like, you've traveled into the future and you've sent yourself a letter back to the future you, or like to the current you, and it's like, dude, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, we've got to save the world, right? And so this email that I sent out had kind of that sort of feeling in it. Oh, thank you, Georgina. And I've had amazing replies as a result of it. Oh, wow, like you tricked me out a little bit. How did you do that? And like, it was literally just a setting in my email where the display of who it came from was you, but it was actually really from me. I didn't go and hack into 10,000 people's servers. I didn't log into your Gmail and, do anything like that kind of skullduggery, because number one, skullduggery, how good is that word? Number one, I wouldn't even have the faintest idea about how to do that, which is kind of hilarious. Oh my God, all the cats are coming. But like every reply bar one was positive. And I had one email from a lady that I wanted to share with you, or the tone of it, I guess, like overnight last night. And she's actually also posted on the page. It's public, so you guys can see it. And the cats are trying to jump on the freaking cushions. Stop it. Oh my God, I need to get my mum voice out for the cats. It's a little ridiculous. Are you coming up? Why are we in here? I don't really understand. You can like be gone. You're very cute, but you need to be gone. So anyway, sorry about the distraction. It was just ridiculous. This email was from her saying that I've unsubscribed and I've deleted you. Hey, Jared. So I've unsubscribed and deleted you and bring out the mum voice, Jared. Exactly. Good morning. And I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. And she went in to say it was inauthentic, it was manipulative, it was this, it was that. And I'm like, dude, it was just a bit of fucking theater. I didn't actually swear at her, but that was my thing. It's like, it's a bit of theater. It's a bit of entertainment because, and it's obviously stood out in people's inboxes, because it was like literally buying into the whole, theater of it being a communication from your future self in a world where time travel exists. And she's like accused me of being inauthentic and this, that, and the other and manipulative. And I've just kind of gone, you can see my reply, it's publicly on the page. But, the past me, a previous me, would have been devastated that someone thought that I was being manipulative or being inauthentic. And she said, oh, like you claim to be no BS, but this is like, I'm calling BS. I'm like, okay. So if you think about it like this, right? You go to the cinema, you go to the movie, and you get caught up in the story and the theme, and you can imagine yourself being the lead actress. And I think this is where so many movies do really well, and it's why, performers do really well, is because they enable the audience to see themselves in that role, or they're able to project themselves into an experience that they've had that is kind of similar to either what they want or something that they've had. And that's where that emotional connection comes in, right? It's where the brain connection comes in as well, because it's just like, like Lady Gaga in that movie, how many of us sing in the shower and think that we're freaking amazing and would love to be discovered in, singing in a bar by an amazingly famous, performer. I think that would be a really cool, I was going to say transpiration. I don't know that that's a word. It is now. That would be a really interesting way of an event transpiring, right? And you being able to then become your own identity and be on stage and, la, la, la. So to me, I'm like, as I was watching that movie and even watching Bohemian Rhapsody, I'm just like, you know what? There are elements, and the reason that those movies resonate with us is that there are elements of us in those things. So if we come back to marketing, one of the really amazing things that you can do is by helping to make your audience the hero of a story. And the key there being story. You want to be able to show people that it's not about you're not a hero. Well, you are a hero in your own world, but the things that you do for your clients, you're actually not the hero. It's all about empowering the person. We're the guide, we're the mentors, we're the trainers, we're the people that help our people, our audience, become the heroes in their own journey, in their own story. And I guess what you need to do in order to be able to help your audience become the hero is that you've got to have absolute conviction and certainty and knowing that what you're saying, what you're putting out there, and the way that you're communicating is the best thing that you could do for you. That the stories that you tell are right, the way you write your emails are right, and you've got to have that level of certainty and conviction within yourself, because you will every now and again get some random person who will go, well, that's a bit of bullshit and I don't agree with that, and rah, 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 rah. Which leads us into this whole, it's almost like a debate, right? Or there's a syndrome called the needs to be right syndrome. And I'm the type of person where I'll go, if someone comes back and says, well, no, actually, I don't agree with this or rah, rah, I'll go, okay, cool. This is why I said what I said. This is why I did what I did. And then if they come back, I might respond to that. I'm not responding emotionally because I've got the conviction and I know that what I've done has been done with the right intention. It's come from the right place. It's come from a place of authenticity, entertainment, theater, enjoyment, adding value, right? It's always about adding value. And then if somebody decides that they want to go and sling another thing, it's like, you know what, go for it. You know, I'm not buying into your drama, not buying into the bullshit. And honestly, I don't care if you like me or if you don't. The fact of the matter is this, and this is the thing that I love, right? I caught this lady's attention. I made her listen and made her read. And then she was able to make a decision that she didn't resonate with the way that one little email in the scheme of all of the emails that I sent out. She didn't like that one email. And it's like, all right, well, if it's the type of thing where you're like, you say one thing out of what you think is what they think is the right thing or whatever, if they're going to go and bail on me for one freaking email, they were never going to buy from me ever in a million years. They would be the type of person that if they bought an event ticket or they decided to come along to a retreat or they decided to join in a program, they would be the mismatches. They would be the ones going, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Or they'd be the excuse makers or whatever. And your job really, and this is where the polarization comes in, right? Your job is to sort out when you've got all these people coming in, your followers on social media, the people that you're building through your email list. Your job is to put different types of things in front of them that they'll either like or dislike. And if they dislike it, then they've got the choice to either unsubscribe, delete, block, whatever, move the heck on, or they'll decide to fall in love with you even more, or, you know, fall in love with your products or whatever even more, your philosophies, your way of doing things. The thing that you've got to remember at all times is that it is not your job to try and convince people of your heart. It is not your job to try and convince people that your way is the right way or that they should listen to you or whatever. Your job is to show up. It's to be you. It's to talk about the things that are important to you. It's obviously to entertain and engage and educate and add value and solve problems and all of that type of stuff. But I know, and this is the level of conviction that you need to have in your marketing as well. Otherwise, you know, you fade into the abyss of sameness and clonism. It happens in people's inboxes and all over social media. You'll become another person that's they follow this process, follow this system, you know, talking about the same old shit that everybody else is talking about. And that's the very thing that's going to end up having you blend in versus actually stand out, be seen and be heard, right? So it does require you putting yourself out there. It does require you sometimes doing things that you might feel are, ooh, that's a little bit risky. You know, I wonder if this is going to be the thing that's going to resonate with people. You know, how many people will unsubscribe from this email? and being okay with whatever the freaking outcome is. You know, the people that unsubscribe, so many people get caught up and worried about, oh, but I don't want to send too many emails because what if people unsubscribe from my list? Well, so what if they do? It's fine. They know where to find you again if they want to come back. If you're consistent on social media and you pop up in their awareness again, then they might resubscribe. Who cares? That's fine. Don't hang your hat on trying to keep everybody because you do not need everybody in order for you to be successful, right? If you want to make $100,000 a year, you only need, 100 people paying you $1,000 a year. Do you think there's 100 people on the internet that would pay you $1,000 over a year? I think so. You know, like it's just, it sounds obvious when we spell it out, right? But at the end of the day, you've got to have that conviction internally to know that what you're doing is is right, is good, is just, and so on and so forth. Tamara, oh, I needed to hear this. So easily swayed by people's opinions and misunderstandings of what I'm hoping to do. When I don't think about that, I serve up pretty good content. Yes, you do. Absolutely, you do. So the number of people that have said, oh, that won't work, Nicola, or you shouldn't go and, I don't really think that email will work, or that sales page has too many words, no one's going to read it. Now, some of those things have been said by people that I really trust. And this is where that conviction comes in, right? Because I know that if you want to make a sizable sale on a sales page, you can't just have one fucking paragraph with a buy now button, unless you've had a really big email series or a big promotion series or a big launch that you've done in the lead up to it, right? People need more. Most people need more, even if they're skimming. They might just be going down and reading the headlines. Like, I tend to read maybe the first 4 paragraphs, and then I'm like, okay, like I'll scan, read, and then something will grab me, and then I'll read that bit, and so on and so forth. So be really mindful, and it's a great point, Tamara. Everybody has got an opinion about what you should do, about what you shouldn't do, about what you should say and what you shouldn't say. And the only opinion that really counts is yours. And the people that don't agree with it, that's great, that's fine, they're entitled to it, but they don't need to share their opinion with you. The people who do agree with it and like it, that's great. They also actually don't really need to share their opinion with you, because you've got to have that conviction that what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're sharing is good. It's done with the right intentions. It's done from a place of absolute integrity and alignment, and you knowing your audience. So this woman that wrote back with the things that she was saying, she was not someone who would ever have, bought. And if she had bought, she would be the type of person that would request a refund, because she'd probably end up in a room with me, or end up on a call with me, or end up in a group program or something like that and be one of those hecklers. Or maybe she wouldn't be, I don't know. But for whatever reason, it's just not the right fit, or maybe not the right time, or whatever. The key point here is that I'm not going to let that sway me or stop me or hold me up or slow me down from doing the work that I am here to do. And it requires resolve. And I get it. I've been that person where I've been so worried and so afraid of other people's opinions, and taken on people's feedback and tried to mold myself into being someone else, or a different version of me that wasn't really, me being me in all my freaking glory, being really comfortable and awesome in my own skin. And it's fucking exhausting trying to please everyone. So how about we just not do that, and you just create that marketing, emails, videos, posts, images, whatever, from a place of you just being like, bam, bitches, here I am. This is what I'm here to say. This is what I'm here to share. And if you like it, that's great. And if you don't, that's fine. Another thing that you can actually do, just to help people understand a little bit about you, is to share with them, either when they join your email list, or, Facebook Lives are a great way to help people, get to know you and get a feeling for who you are and how you are and all of that type of thing, is to let them know what to expect. So I've sent out emails to my email list saying, hey guys, just so that you know, I'm upping the ante. I am going to be sending more emails. I am going to be making offers through my emails. I am going to be adding value through my emails. I am going to very regularly send you all of the words. I am also really regularly not going to be sending all of the words. Sometimes they'll be shorter, sometimes they'll be longer, but my absolute commitment to you, and this is actually directly through here as well as my email list or Instagram, wherever it is that people find me, is that I promise to always be adding value. I promise to always be entertaining, educating, inspiring, motivating, kicking your ass into getting yourself out there and you being visible. Because I know that if you are doing that, then everything else is going to fall into place, but you've got to do it in your way and you've got to be you at all times. Otherwise, when you get one of these little like swipes from people, which, you know, you might not get, but if you do, then you can just be like, miss me, bitches. And it just kind of like goes straight on past you, right? It's like, what was that? So like, I hope that you don't get feedback or people sharing their opinions that kind of rocks your resolve, because it doesn't really feel very good, I suppose. But if you think about it, there are people who deal with complaints on a daily basis. There are people who deal with sledging on a daily basis. There are people who deal with all sorts of vile, is it vitriol? Is that the word? That, you know, that they just like, wow. And that because they're so used to dealing with it, is like literally like water off a duck's back. So embrace that. Take that on. So the email I sent out yesterday, and I think I put a post up about it as well, maybe yesterday. I can't remember. I get so lost in sharing all the stuff everywhere. It was a WWND email. So what would Nicola do? And I talked about this in the live as well yesterday. So sometimes it can be helpful for you if you're like, well, like what would Nicola do in this situation? Or what would Donald Trump do in this situation? What would Oprah do in this situation? What would Marianne Williamson do in this situation? And embrace some of that and some of that strength. Because I tell you, you know what, Brené Brown's another one maybe, you know, you can either go in and start being defensive, or you can just go like, bang, this is the opinion, this is what I stand by, and then kind of like conversation's done. Like it's not, I remember reading a book called The Last Word when I was a kid, and it was about these people who are on a debate team. And I'm pretty sure the way that I remember it was that in the family, and it was totally like me as a kid, not that you'd believe this for a second, is that I would always need to have the last word. Oh no, I just had this realization. Oh my gosh, my daughter is like this exactly. So she has to have the last word, right? And that was totally me as a kid. Shock horror. Not in an argumentative way, but kind of like a more, you know what, you know, I've got that conviction. I know that what I'm saying is right and true and just, and, you know, this is just how it needs to be, right? And so there was this book anyway, and I think it was called The Last Word, and it was a book about debating and giving structure and creating or giving supporting evidence essentially into an argument, not a argument, but in the argument of you standing by your opinion with whatever side it is that you need to take. And it kind of it reminded me of that this morning, not my daughter being a mini version of me, but that's really awkward and quite uncomfortable. Because she's so like me, it's really annoying. And awesome, because clearly I'm fabulous. But, you know, just ask me, I'll tell you. But the thing is like if you're always trying to have the last word, and they're also someone who needs to have the last word, and they've got a really unresourceful, I need to be right and I will make myself heard and I'm going to do everything that I can in order to show you that I'm right and that my opinion's right and you don't even, you know, flick away, person, you don't even matter. Then like you don't even want to engage with those people, right? Just don't even get into the conversation. Just, you know, state your opinion and then you can let it go. You know, it's like no is a full sentence. Yes is a full sentence. You don't have to try and justify anything unless you want to, but make sure it's coming from that right place. Okay, Geordie, I love it. Thank you. I'm doing Facebook Live so they can see who I am. Yeah, exactly. It's the best, right? I think it's really cool. Geordie, I'm not on the email list. Will I still receive it if I join now, as it sounds interesting? That email that I'm talking about, there's a post that I put up that was that email actually. and it was a transmission from your future. You could also go to my blog, nicolamoras.com.au, and in there, it's the one, if you want to read the email that this woman responded to, it's the one with the white noise, like the static on a television thing. So if you read that, but just where it says, like, imagine that it said, to Geordie from Geordie in the future. And then just imagine that your name was like, hey, Geordie, this is me. It's me, Geordie. I'm coming to you from like 2 years in the future or whatever. And then read it through that way. No problem at all. Awesome. Hey, Kelly. Cool beans. So I wanted to let you know about that. I also wanted to let you know about this Champagne Supernova 2-day immersion that we're doing. It's really interesting because I had this thought a few years ago about, I tried to trademark it actually, the 4M method. And it was mindset, message, marketing, and media, with the 4 M's. And I was like, I couldn't quite wrap my brain around the thinking of it. And I had this moment yesterday where I'm like, Champagne Supernova is like, oh my God, this is exactly what the 4 M's are. It's actually mindset, message, marketing, and masterminding. So what we're doing is, I think some people have been a little bit confused in my excitement of flurry around talking about it. It's where we're sitting we're in a luxury penthouse apartment on the Gold Coast. It's totally beautiful. And we're going to be doing all of this, like mindset, marketing, message, masterminding, for 2 whole days. It's a complete immersion. It's not a seminar where I'm standing at the front of the thing and teaching content. Yes, you'll be learning content. Yes, you'll be having training and things like that. But most importantly, we're just going to do a really deep dive immersion into you, your business, your marketing, your positioning, developing that conviction in what you're doing, right? And what you're saying and the audience that you're wanting to be talking to. And really making sure that instead of just kind of like scratching at the surface that tends to happen in bigger rooms, we're actually deep diving and unpacking your thinking and what that means. And, I first heard like unpacking your thinking. It's like, oh, come on. Like, what kind of claptrap is that all about? It just sounds like mumbo jumbo talk. Now that I've been doing this for a couple of years, it's just like, oh yeah, of course, this makes complete sense. So unpacking your thinking is where we actually develop a system around your thinking. We actually develop a system around your intellectual property, and then layer that into your marketing, layer that into your positioning, layer that into your branding, so that you can use all of that and have not just the internal conviction that, yes, this is what I'm here to talk about and this is what I'm here to say, but you've also got a framework that you can use for a book, for your marketing, for a white paper, for your anything that you do, your Facebook Lives, for your trainings, for your coaching, for your mentoring, for the way that you work with clients. If you submit things, like if you submit articles to the media, then this helps you with everything that you do in terms of disseminating your information, your content and everything else that you do, but it also provides that substance underneath you for you being able to share that. And that's really a big part of what we do at those 2 days. Of course, I've kind of made it feel like a little bit like a retreat, because it is in a really beautiful kind of Zen hotel in the apartment in my penthouse that we're going to be in, and you're totally looked after for 2 days. It is also really important that you've got somewhere that you can stay outside of that room for you to be able to integrate and really take on that stuff. But you're also going to be implementing in the room as well. So if you want to find out more about that, you can go here. This is the link that I did not prepare before, because I kind of decided to do this. It helps if I spell my name right. Hey, I decided to do this Facebook Live a little bit on the fly, and my kids are going to start hassling me any minute because we need to go to school. Isn't that really hilarious? Yay for the joys of juggling all of the things. So there is that link if you want to find out more about it. It is probably actually it is in fact the cheapest way that you can get in an intimate room with me. You know, maximum, I'm aiming for 12 people. I might let 15 in, but really I think it's going to be more like 12 people because I want to give you guys as much of me individually as I possibly can, because I know that one of my things that I just do naturally and so effortlessly and easily is I put my fingers inside your brain. You'll talk to me. I put my fingers inside your brain, kind of pull this out, and it's like, bang, here we go. This is what you're going to go and do. And you're just like, oh my God, how did you even do that? And I'm like, well, because that's what I do. So from marketing, positioning, and all of that type of stuff, content, all of the stuff. So that's that, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm going to have to go and run my children, my offspring to school, and then I'm going to go to the gym and get strong, because this is like what I was talking about the other day. I am 10 out of 10, 100% committed, on fire, doing what it is that I need to do in order to get my goals. So that's what I'm going to go and do. You guys all have an amazing day. Happy hump day. Get all of the fun of the hump day happening and things like that. Have a really great day. Remember to get out there, go help some people, and be visible. I'll talk to you soon.